Join us for a full review of the Mercedes GLB. Let's go! The front of the Mercedes GLB is very strong and accentuated, more has an off-road character, and that reminds us a little bit of the Mercedes GLK, which was the predecessor of the GLC? Maybe. I think rather this one could be a real successor now of the GLK. The GLB here, also more accentuations on top of the hood. The front grille, by the way, in the style and progressive line, it looks like this with two horizontal fins, and in the AMG line you would get the beautiful diamond pin grille. 4.63 m, 15'2", or 182 inches is the length of the Mercedes GLB. Wheels come from 17 to 20-inch wheels for the normal civilized version. These ones here are the special 20-inch wheels with the orange ring around in the Edition 1 model, the special launch model. Yeah, I think we can argue about that. 20-inch wheels also maybe a little bit exaggerated here. But for the AMG, the 35 AMG, even 19 to 21-inch wheels available. We had the 35 version in our review before, so you can also check that one out later. Will be linked in the video description and the pinned comment. In the rear, a rather unspectacular hatch design, but also really upright. There you can see it's more about form follows function to have more space on the interior. Modern LED signature also in the rear, and the lower part, yeah, this is another case for the fake exhaust police. Yay, we have gas struts here, but no sound dampening below the hood. That's strange. But I mean, the engine doesn't sound too loud, so obviously they can manage without. Interesting. You start with the GLB 180 or GLB 200 at both the Renault-powered engine, 1.33 liters, 163 or 136 horsepower, 7-speed DCT. Then today, the GLB 250, the true Mercedes engine, 2-liter 4-cylinder, 224 horsepower, 8-speed DCT. Option also available with the 4MATIC all-wheel drive. And then there's the GLB 35 AMG, same base engine but 306 horsepower, then of course a harsher acceleration. On the diesel side, there's the 180D, 200D or then the 220D. That's all the 2-liter 4-cylinder diesel, 116 horsepower, 150 horsepower or 190 horsepower. And the middle one optional all-wheel drive and the top one always optional. Then the interior of the GLB reminds us of the other compact models as well. Zoom more to this 2-screen setup. Steering wheel left side for the cruise control. It's a good position to put that here. Left thumb control with this small touchpad for the instruments right there. And right thumb control will be then for the other screen. There are so many seat options available. These here are exceptional animal skin seat, but I say exceptional not because they're so good, because they are rather an exception, as the GLB offers fabric article leatherette mix, a full article seat in different colors, also color combinations. There's also this white black one mix available, which also offers seat cooling in combination with the leatherette. Then you have any AMG or AMG line, a Dynamica on the inside, article leatherette on the outside. So the overall choice on animal-free materials here at the Mercedes compact models is really overwhelming. Let's get inside. Such an easy entry. You have a big SUV feeling already. It's not a small vehicle, but based on a compact platform, but a really nice seating position, steering wheel up and down, and also towards you, a very smooth process. And I'm 1.86 m or 6'1". Frequent subscribers will know And with the panoramic roof here, it still leaves some headroom. If you want more head clearance, then you leave out the panoramic roof. Now looking at this interior perspective, Artico soft touch leatherette dashboard here, feels good. Then this cylindric form at the right side, and above that there's again this matte wood. This is actually cool, but then in this special edition, glad it's just the launch model, a colored wood that dissolves then into natural wood. Please don't mix wood with coloring. I don't know. Or what's your take on that? Ambient lighting goes around right there. You can see it also beautiful here at the lower sides, even more impressive at night. Then the screen setup is either 2x7 inch, it's always all digital, or then optional, you can go 7-inch left, 10.25 inch right, or this setup you always see in all test vehicles, 2x10.25 inch. This is how the GPS looks like. So nice visualization for sure. Sometimes could be a little bit more responsive. So this is then the main menu. You can scroll like this, right touch, but also can use this right thumb here at the steering wheel or the lower touchpad. So redundant control possibilities. Apple Carplay, when it's connected, you have the hotkey up here, and let's listen to this Burmester sound system, the top option. But as I said earlier, know it from CLA, even the bass sound system sounds pretty nice. But this one here with the better surround sound, wow. Awesome. Woohoo! And the instruments are pretty clear to read, definitely. So satisfied with that. You can also have the GPS view here in the middle, for example. So then you also see some map information and assistance systems. You can also put to the middle part, or then you can also change the whole style of the display. So for example, do a sporty one. That would look then like this, and some more possibilities. Overall pretty nice. And the head-up display is also very clear to read. Current speed, allowed speed, and then also GPS information when you have a route set. It's also a pretty good option. And now where the GLB is really at home, but very soft touch here at the inside of the doors. And this is really so cool. That's how I am sitting in the front, and there's so much legroom left, and that's really a better result than in Mercedes GLC. And also headroom wise, it's no problem, still some room left, and again would be a little bit more if I would go without the panoramic roof, which is split here, but it's also a nice view then up to the top. And it's a nice upright seating position here also. You can vary it here with this strap. You can sit a little bit more like this or a little bit more land back. This is both possible. And then 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches, it goes to the front and back again. So you can have maximum legroom or a little bit more trunk area. 560 to 1,755 liters is the capacity setup. You can use this foot kick opening mechanism, by the way. And then we are here with the trunk area, and it's really good because it's so high and upright right here. You can see here how you can fit a trolley inside. Also, barely fits under the cover here, but it does work. This cover is, by the way, see, that's the problem here. So the height here, it's really hard to put it back then. So this could be a little bit higher, I think. Would be just maybe the missing centimeters are, from here, this additional floor mat, you don't need to use it. You can get it, also can be used from two sides. Other than that, this one does not have a rail because of the 7-seater setup, the optional one. This one being the 5-seater, but the 7-seater setup is also possible, also shown in other videos. And now interesting, as for the measurements, you've seen here, this 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches bench can be put front and back, 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches, and it means either you can have a normal trunk length of a little bit more than a meter, 1.5 meters, or if you have the seat all the way back, that would be 90 centimeters. Welcome to Thomas's driving part with the Mercedes GLB. So today here with the Mercedes GLB with the 250 4MATIC. So 250, it means that this one is already the true Mercedes engine. The small petrol engine is the Renault one. This one here, the 2-liter 4-cylinder, and probably also then the engine to go for. Well, it has enough power, definitely no problem with that. We'll also soon show you some acceleration on the motorway as for that. And it's also decently silent when you're just cruising and rolling here, definitely. Also the dual clutch transmission is doing a good job to give everything a very smooth transition between the gears. We also have the adaptive suspension here today, which is a good pick because it really evens out the bumps. However, 20-inch wheels mounted is not the most clever choice. We had the same already with the Mercedes GLA, and it just makes riding so much rougher than you would ride it with the smaller wheels, and it's really not necessary for this vehicle. I would say leave 20-inch for like big sports cars and so on. So it also looks better here, definitely. They always look better when they're bigger, but if you seek more comfort, then also leave it with smaller wheels. That will be better for you. The steering input is really good because there's no dead zone area, no angle of the steering here is dead. However, Mercedes rather has the philosophy of not making it too progressive, so you have a little bit more calm running straight. As for the all-wheel drive distribution, well, you do not necessarily need all-wheel drive for this vehicle. You can also pick an engine without all-wheel drive. It is front-wheel biased anyway. All-wheel drive just when you really need an all-wheel drive when you live in certain areas where that would be crucial. Other than that, you'll be also just fine with the front-wheel driven version of this car. If you have the all-wheel drive, the Euro distribution is 80% in the front, 20% in the rear. When I go to the sports mode, which I can do right now, then it's 70% in the front, 30% in the rear, so a little bit more rear wheel. And when you go to the off-road mode, then it's 50-50. So I'll put you to speed right here and we do some acceleration. Whoa, that's a little bit dangerous now. So 50 to 80. Plop, that's it. That was already 50 to 90. And you hear also that the gear is being kept up. So acceleration wise, it's really more than enough. And this was already AEB, wasn't really realizing that I was crossing the lane, so was catching the distance to the truck in front of me. So we don't have to be worried about enough power, definitely here. And when you really hit it with the throttle, then it sounds a little bit, maybe even annoying, I don't know. But that's the thing then with these smaller 2-liter 4-cylinder engines. But of course, there's the even smaller one available, so you'll be fine with that. And by the way, we had 100 kilometers or 60 miles an hour. Very silent in here, so good noise insulation. And also remark to the GLB 35, the AMG version. This one is way more silent. So the GLB version was way louder also on the interior as for noise insulation. So really more satisfied with this model here, definitely. And to me, the biggest surprise is this is not the AMG version, Yeah, we have the 20-inch wheels, that's a little sportier then, but how good and sporty the handling of this car is, although you can definitely mark it as a family SUV. So I think that's one of the coolest things here about the GLB. A lot of fun to drive still. And you sit more upright, of course, than in an A-Class or in a CLA. So you have more comfort, especially for taller people, also on longer journeys. And then if you compare it to a GLC, the GLC does feel a segment above. It has, not the most modern MBUX infotainment system. That's an advantage here. But then again, the GLC does feel a little more upmarket. It drives a little more sovereign on the motorway. But then again, it's not the more practical car. This one here is. So you have more space when you sit here in the front. It's more open building style, whereas the GLC is rather this, sportier, closed-in building style. So if you think about the former Mercedes GLK, which was a fantastic vehicle, I see the, legit successor of the GLK rather here in the GLB than in the GLC. Although this one is, of course, also then longer than the GLK formerly. And now to our conclusion for today with the Mercedes GLB, this all-new SUV that is between the GLA and the GLC. First of all, exterior-wise, more a successor of the GLK or a small GLS, because it has a very strong stance. Side profile is maybe not the most beautiful, but then again it's about the interior practicability, and that's indeed crucial because this one is probably the most versatile Mercedes there is at the moment. So much space on the interior and also considering of the exterior length, and next to the B-Class, probably the best price performance Mercedes in the model lineup. It's not that it's cheap, it's just that the other ones are just more expensive for what they deliver in practicability purposes, of course. The interior build quality is also good and full digitalized interior. You have a wide set of animal-friendly seating choices, even though we didn't have the specific one here today. And of course, then you also have the 7-seater option. Fuel economy is not the best. Considering the GLA, it's actually okay, but overall it should still be better. The engine is good and powerful, but yet again a little bit too high in the fuel consumption, I think. Yeah, and the car will not be cheap at all, as I said. Then again, cheaper in relation than the other Mercedes model, and that's also what's making it so attractive. So people maybe think about the GLB versus a GLC if you want a better price performance deal. The GLC will still offer you a more sophisticated driving feeling. This one then, however, more spacious open driving feeling and some more off-road character definitely. So to me this is now a true successor of the Mercedes GLK, although it's a longer successor now, so to say. What do you think? I hope you really enjoyed our special remarks also in the driving parts to other vehicles and also to other internal Mercedes competition. And I'd really like to see your comments now. What do you think here about the new SUV addition to the Mercedes lineup? Thanks so much for tuning in today and see you next time.